Welcome to the Activity Call Live. Now, let's hear it for our special guest host, Stephen Davies.
And the crowd goes wild. I love the applause. Hey, Stephen Davies here. So excited to be doing the activity call today. So excited about where we're at in the Alliance. Last week, I was on the road all week. I was in Dallas Monday, met up with Albright and the crew on Tuesday in Houston. We had the social there in Houston. Sharp people coming out, sharp new people coming out from all over Texas there. Then we had the boot camp in Houston on Wednesday. Then we flew to Albuquerque on Thursday morning. Then we had the social in Denver Thursday night. Then Friday we had the boot camp in Denver, and it's just sharp people coming out of everywhere. I was being out there in Denver. I've got a big part of the team out there, and seeing the sharp people that Greco had out there, the sharp people Guerra had out there, the sharp people Hoyt had out there. I mean, it was all over. It's just such an exciting week. And then this week in the office, getting new people started. It's just, here's why I look at the next 4 months. And this is why when I was asked to do the activity call on today, I was fired up to get to do it. These next 4 months, September, October, November, and December. Let me tell you something. I've been doing this 22 years. I'm here 22 years. These 4 months is when the magic happens. Every year, without exception, every year, somebody makes themselves known. Multiple people burst onto the scene. I'm telling you, 22 years of doing this. People join in September and win the trip. I'm telling you, 22 years of doing it. These 4 months are 4 of my favorite months of the year because I get to see who's going to make themselves known. I get to see who's going to burst onto the scene. I get to see who is going to set themselves up for an epic 24. So I cannot be more excited to be here on the activity call today, here at the end of August, going into what are 4 of the biggest months of the year. Ask anybody that's been here a long time. Ask any of them. They'll tell you. They'll tell you that these 4 months are when people make themselves known. This is the 4 months where a brand new person bursts onto the scene that nobody's ever heard of. And then at National Convention, everybody's like, so did you hear about this guy? Did you hear about this lady? Did you hear about that? And all of a sudden that name's popping everywhere. These are the 4 months of the year where people that have been with us 10 years, 5 years, maybe 12 years, all of a sudden have an awakening and set themselves up for a massive 2024. So I am so excited coming to this time of year. The content that we're sharing with you today is specifically designed to help you and me and make the most out of these 4 magical months we've got coming up. Because here's the reality. The reality is we're all going to experience about the same amount of good breaks and unfair breaks. We're all going to face about the same positive input, negative input. We're all going to face about the same. What we do with it is everything. And so what today's call is all about is about how you process. What's your posture? What's my posture towards the world? There's 2 camps we can be in. And there's only 2 camps. Sometimes we might be like drifting between camps a little bit, but you got to get into camp. There's 2 camps. One camp is the negative people. Everything's unfair. Everything's personal. Everybody's out to get them. See, it's good since everybody is out to get them that they're all in one camp. It keeps them all in one place, makes it organized to go get them. The people, everybody's going to hurt them. Everybody's going to offend them. Everybody's taking advantage. Everything negative happens to this camp. Everything negative. I mean, from the other camp, the positive camp, you can see the swirling clouds of negativity and toxicness just swirling above the camp of the negative. Over here in the positive camp, it's sunshine. It's sunshine all day, every day. Holly jokes around me all the time. She's like, you just think the sun shines everywhere you go. And I'm like, yeah, because it does. That's the positive camp. So which camp are you and I going to spend the most time in? Here's the thing. What we will get out of these 4 months has everything to do with which camp we stay in. Now, here's the thing. We'll be in the positive camp for a minute. Somebody from the negative camp will say, well, hey, didn't you see all this negativity? Didn't you see all this swirling clouds of dysfunction and toxicity and unfairness? And be like, well, I'll be dang. I'm going to move my iPad so you can see me walk. I'll be dang. What the heck's going on? Oh, my God, it is terrible. It's the worst. Oh, no. But then somebody over here says, hey, Hey, y'all, just so you know, what they see is not what we see. Like, oh, okay, I'll come back over here. So we're all going to spend time on this plane between the two camps at some point. What we need to do is stay closer to the positive camp, and we need to stay tighter. And if one of these people says, "Hey, y'all seen this negative? You seen this terrible thing? You seen? Hey, ain't this one off a little bit?" And when they say that, we got to go. Right? Why? Because statistically, about the same amount of good and bad stuff is going to happen to all of us. Right? It's just statistics. But if we're in this camp, we think it only happens to us. We think everything. This is the people say, you just can't get. It's impossible to get a new person started. You can't get new people started. I can't get anything issued. I can't get. Nobody wants to join my team. Every appointment I book is a no-show. Over here, they're like, man, we are killing it. We're killing it. Mike Guerra, that's why I love being around Mike Guerra. I love Mike. Mike is in this camp right here. Like, Mike is not only in this camp, he's actively walking around this camp constantly telling everybody how awesome it is. He made over $200,000 his first year. He's already made over that this year, like over that, which means he's going to come in at $400,000 or $500,000, and I will bet the farm he's going to make over $1 million next year. And so why is that going on when others say that it can't go on? It has everything to do with our posture towards the world. Now, this is vital. This is vital because I'm going to draw something, and I've got some guests, and we've got 8 quick points we're going to share with you. But it's vital that you get on board with me on this, because it's called Life Wasted. That's one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs, Life Wasted. Look it up. It'll get you fired up about not peeing away your life, not wasting life in this camp. All right, because here's how it works. This is time, right? This is you and I right here. It's August 25th. Man, I hope that's right. Okay, yep, that's right. This is 01. Oops. Oh. Hang on. That's going to drive me crazy. All right. This is 01. I did it again. Sorry. Shouldn't do the coffee and the Celsius energy drink. This is the end of the year. Across this time space continuum from today until January 1st, guess what's going to happen? Good things, negative things, good things, negative things, good things, negative things, good things, negative things. It's going to happen. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I am. I'm also the bearer of good news. I'm the bearer of news of all types, good and bad. It's going to happen. So when the negative thing happens, what do? If you allow it to affect you, you dip below the line. Now, here's the thing. All time spent down here is non-productive. It's not happy. It's nothing good. We have to get back to here. So let's say by the time we get to here, this next positive event's about to happen, we got our minds right again. So we're in good shape. Yes and no. Yes, in that we're back to being positive. No, in that all of this life is wasted. That is life wasted. Why? Because if you're in hospice care, you cannot return these days for extra days. You can't be like, well, whoa, wait a second. I spent 1,234 days in negativity, and I would like a refund. Nope. No refund on bad days. No refund on negative crybaby days. No refund on self-pity excursions. This is life wasted. And that's why this is so important. Why? What do we want to do? Well, here's what I know. You and me, we're not perfect. So this negative event might rile us up. It might tick us off. But if we can rebound faster and get back, that's less life wasted. That is what we're after. Less life wasted. More productive time, more happy time, more forward-focused, more abundant time, more good stuff. That's why the 8 things we're going to share over the next little bit are so key to you and I staying productive as we go through these 4 months. It's going to be the difference, by the way. Nobody in this camp is going to have a magical 4-month run. Nobody. So if you're in this camp, the bad news is it does not get better. The good news is it's very predictable, so you don't have to worry about it. All of the people that have a magical run in these 4 months are going to be the ones that stay in this camp. And so that's what today is about. How do you and I stay in this camp more? Again, remember, like I told you, we're going to drift from time to time. We're imperfect. We're humans. It's what we do. But the key is don't stray far from this camp. Dear God, don't leave this camp. Let's try and stay here as much as we can. Now, here's what I want you to realize. All the things we're going to talk about this morning with my guests, they're all a choice. Now, people that are firmly entrenched in this camp, and that's not you and me. That's not you and me. We wouldn't be, Lord knows, we wouldn't be getting up to get on a call in the morning. I mean, dear God, what is there to live for in this camp? Being on a call for call, they're probably going to try and tell us that it's not all terrible like we think it is. That's not you and I, but what we've got to do is identify that that's a choice as much as this is a choice. Make sense? We've got to identify that both are a choice. It's a choice. It's about a posture we choose towards the world. This is proactive. This is reactive. These folks start their day and let the day happen to them. You and I in the positive camp, we start the day with a plan of action. We start the day with an absolute intention on being positive no matter what happens. So the 8 things we're going to talk about over the next few minutes here are going to help you and I stay close in this camp, stay in the center of this camp. Don't ever leave this camp because this is where all the good stuff's going to happen. So here's the first point. Number 1, start the day right. Start the day right. And so to get some thoughts on this, I want to invite Mercedes on. Because Mercedes, I'm telling you what, the power with which she starts her day is just it's impressive. I can go on and on about what a warrior I know that Mercedes is. When she said this was the one she wanted to talk about, I was like, oh man, this is going to be good. Mercedes, come on, let's just share some of the stuff. What are some strategies? What's some things you do to start the day right so that we start the day in this camp?
Hi, Stephen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can listen, see me? Are you watching me?
They're turning it up in the studio for me here.
That's good. Thank you, Stephen and Holly, for having me. Oh my God, that is a very good topic. Very good one. I'm working on it. I can say that I'm an expert, not at all, but I'm working on it and never give up. Okay? Start your day with positive attitude for me is basic. Just wake up and working on it, like I say. I don't know if because I had a recent situation that most of you know. If you are new in the Alliance, my husband passed away a couple of months ago. And every day I wake up with gratitude. I say, oh my God, thanks God, I'm alive. And healthy. Don't take for granted that you have a roof over your head, that you have food in your table, that you have family. Don't take for granted. But this is the business that we do. We every day a lot of people, Stephen, that they are homeless, that they don't have anything, that they don't have any health, that they are it's a different situation, and in that moment you say, hey, thanks God, because I have this opportunity with Alliance, because I have health, I have friends, I have family. That is huge. Every day when just I wake up, I say, thanks God, because I had all of this. That is my first thing every morning. And I'm building habits. I'm a copy person. I'm working on it, like I say, and my basics every day are, the first one, like I say, that's positive attitude. The second one, I already plan my day before, the night before. Like I say, I'm a copy person. I don't know if you know them, if you are new in this business. The top one in the Alliance is Megan Woods. by far, by far. And I remember that she said in one of the many trainings that she planned her day before, the night before. She know the next day she will wake up and do her stuff, but she know exactly what she wants to do. I'm doing that and copy her. And I know how many clients I will visit, how many leads I got, how many door knocks, how many calls I need to do for recruit, I set my goal and I'm still in my bed. I'm setting my goals there. That after big gratitude. Another thing that I'm doing, because I'm a copy person, like I say, and stretch and exercise. And I need to mention real people. I don't want, everybody can put a video in YouTube and build habits, how build habits for success people. I want to talk about real people, people who is doing this business. When I say stretch and exercise, I know a lot of people like that, but do this for yourself, for your body, that is your machine. I'm just thinking in Brandonville. I remember, I don't know if you watched this video, I remember one pretty early, probably was 4 a.m., 5 p.m., 5 a.m. He was walking in the middle of the snow, walking for the gym, and it was painful just watch him. Imagine how far, but this is a good thing to copy. He's building habits. I'm pretty sure that he's not building anymore. For him, it's a regular thing. But I just remember this video, and also remember Brian Rojas, that he never gave up. He's doing again the same. It's a program that everybody wake up early and do exercise for 70 some days. And I'm thinking of them. If he can do it, why I cannot? I don't need a specific situation, health situation. And that is another good habit that I'm building to start my day in the right way. Okay? Another one, read. If you are still in bed, read at least 10 minutes. When I start doing this business, I remember the Olga Matis invite me on a reading club. And I say, oh, that's nice. That's good. Be associated with another ladies and I start reading. It was at 7 a.m. At this time for me was, what? At 7 a.m.? That is impossible. But the thing is, I complete the reading club and I read my first book in English, actually Compound Interest. Anyway, this is a good one. A Step of Success. If you want to start reading at least 10 pages a day, A Step of Success, and you have the Spanish version. Building my habits to start my day in the right way. You can spend at least another 10 minutes, 15 minutes with family, with friends. Take a coffee with your mom, with your husband. Ask him how was the night. Call somebody who is the birthday. It's incredible, Stephen. I chat with Jane Albright at least 1 or 2 times a week. And in all of them, it's before 7 a.m. Do you believe that? Who texts you, who calls you before 7 a.m.? People wait until 8, but this is your family, is your friend, or your chosen family, why not? And that is my kind of basis. Some people meditate also. I'm working on it. I'm trying to copy somebody in this business to teach me how meditate. But this is after probably an hour and a half. It's almost impossible to have a bad day. And working on it in being in the positive camp that you mentioned before, that is my goal. Be there around these people who is positive too, like you say, Mike Guerra and another bunch of people that they are there. And that is, like I say, my wake up. After that, the sky is the limit.
I love it. That was some awesome stuff, Mercedes. Here's the thing. Everybody here, they're up earlier than everybody here. Why? By God, we're positive. We got something to live for. We got stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? Not only do we got trips to win, we've got stacks of cash to stack up for the trip. We've got new people that can't wait to get started. So we're going to get early start. This camp at 10 o'clock, man, 10 o'clock Eastern is early for this camp. 10 o'clock Eastern. Oh, dear Lord. This camp's up early. This camp reads every day, put something positive. Remember I talked about it's reactive, proactive. Proactive is I'm going to put something positive in my day, in my head before I start my day reading. I'm going to spend time in gratitude. And I love that. That actually, what the other thing you talked about, which is taking care of yourself, that ties in with the second thing. The second point on how to be positive no matter what is treat yourself like a winner. This camp treats themselves like a loser. That's why they feel like a loser. This camp treats themselves like a winner. How do you treat yourself like a winner? Well, Mercedes talked about a lot of it. Be prepared. Winners are prepared. Winners don't wake up and go, all right, what are we going to do today? That's not what a winner does. A winner's got an action plan the day before. A winner is prepared. A winner is sharp, not sloppy. These folks kind of slough through. Might even wear the same clothes they wore yesterday, just sloughing through the day. This group is sharp. This group is prepared. This group is ready to go. This group talks to themselves in uplifting forms. This group talks to themselves in negative forms. Here's the thing about self-talk. We say, I was thinking, when that's not true. What we should say, the more accurate statement for us is, I was repeating. Because the things we have in our head are things we've heard other people say. And it's those thoughts or combinations of those thoughts that make up what we think are our thoughts. But they're just previously heard in Stephen's head. That's all it is. That's all it is combination of those things. If you take control of that, treat yourself like a winner, talk to yourself like a winner, you're going to be positive. If you don't take control of that over here in this camp, you're going to listen to the ex-spouse. You're going to listen to the bad boss. You're going to listen to the bad teacher. You're going to listen to whatever. Dear God, this camp loves the news. They can't get enough news. They can't. This camp's not even on the call because they're watching the news right now. I was having a negativity withdrawal. I needed a little more negativity, so I got on the news, and now I'm feeling even again. Treat yourself like a winner. Take care of yourself. Act like you're going to live a long, productive life. Mercedes talked about exercise. I'm with you, Mercedes. Act like we're going to live a long, productive life. Let's take care of ourselves. I always joke around when I'm around Mercedes at events. I'll hold up a drink or a piece of food and be like, Meche approve? Or Meche no? Like, Meche approve. Okay, cool. I'll have the Perrier then. Act like you're going to live a long, productive life and help a lot of people. Treat yourself like a winner. Another thing, simple thing. Andy Albright taught me this early on. Buy half the amount of clothes you're used to buying, but spend twice as much. Have 2 great outfits instead of 8 blasé outfits. Make sense? Treat yourself like a winner. All right, number 3. Drop the energy vampires. There's a whole host of them over here in this camp. Drop the energy vampires. Now, we tend to think of it as people, but it's more than that. But to share this thought on energy vampires, I want my buddy Adam Burrs to come on. Adam Burrs came on like a storm. I mean, just past people that have been with me 10, 15 years. I mean, one of the top producers in the Alliance. He's our top Index Universal Life producer on our team. He's building the team. You can see his recruiting numbers coming up. So he is going to continue to be a force. Adam, share some thoughts with us on dropping the energy vampires.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite topics because I think this is something that I've noticed in my life that I can speak to with some experience. When you let an energy vampire get a hold of you, the truth is you very rarely react to the energy vampire, to the person or the situation that got a hold of you. What we typically do is we carry that venom to somebody else. And if we don't heal the wounds that an energy vampire has given us, I think I heard you say one time, then you'll just end up bleeding on somebody else. See, that's usually what happens. It affects us, but we end up reacting to other people, other situations in life. For example, you think about maybe talking to a friend or a family member, and they have nothing but negative things to say. We typically let them do that to us, and then we turn around and we vent that negativity to somebody else. So it's good for us to think sometimes about what are the energy vampires in my life. Make a list. It's not hard to figure out who they are in our lives. We could just simply make a list of people we spend the most time with. And we could add, if a person makes us feel less than, we add a dash or a minus next to that name. If a person makes us feel more than, if they lift us up, make us feel better, and they give us a brighter outlook and view of life, or we can add a plus sign next to their name. And we can do the same thing with activities. I don't think we realize sometimes how much our activities can have a negative impact on us, because they do. I remember Stephen told me about an agent one time who would do a really good job of setting appointments, but then he'd get into the home and he just couldn't quite make the sale. And he couldn't figure out what the situation was, what was causing that to happen. So he went to Stephen for help. And Stephen helped him review his routine. What was he doing before he went into the home? And he found out that this agent had been listening to political radio programs that would get him all riled up about the direction of the country. And he'd go into the home then with this negative attitude, this chip on his shoulder, and things would not go well in the home because of the negativity he brought into the home. So it's good for us to think about the activities that we're engaged in to see if they lift us up or not. How do they make us feel afterward? Do you feel low, or do you feel lifted up? And if you feel low, then those are situations you've got to make some changes with if you're going to improve your outlook, your attitude, your personality, your success. But these things can also be situations too, not just people, but they can be situations. Something I have a hard time with is when I work really hard on an application and it gets declined. Oh, it just fries me. Sometimes I just get so upset because I spent all this time and energy in my mind, and I was counting that money before it even went into my checking account. I knew I had it, and then it gets declined. Well, the truth of the matter is maybe the carrier made a mistake. Maybe they did. It's also possible that I made a mistake, that I didn't assess the situation correctly, or that maybe the client forgot something that affected the outcome of the application, or maybe they were just not completely honest with me. So we have to, kind of step back and be realistic and adjust, and not allow these things just to cause us to, throw up our pen and walk out and give up, because then nobody has helped, and certainly not the client or yourself. So it's good for us to think about these situations and not allow them to suck the energy from us when these negative situations come up. Don't let them ruin your day or your week. Why would you allow those situations to steal the life from you? As Stephen pointed out earlier, because that's exactly what they're doing. So it's up to us to decide how we're going to handle these situations going forward. If we're being fair, though, I think we could all relate to this. Sometimes an energy vampire can be a loved one. Sometimes that can happen. Somebody we spend a lot of time with. Are they always full of negativity? Could it be that they're calling out to you for help? Could it be that they need someone that they love and trust and have confidence in to help them deal with the situation and help them turn the page and start a new chapter? But if we just ignore those situations and let them remain negative and always talk about negative things that bring them and you down, we're not helping them. Misplaced kindness is a cruelty, isn't it? The longer we wait to have that conversation with the one we love, the longer we're telling them that it's okay to behave this way and think this way. And if there are no consequences, then no change in behavior is necessary. Isn't that true? Their behavior will become more and more ingrained in their personality. Then the harder it is to root that negativity out and move on and turn the page, start a new chapter. And that misplaced cruelty can be, or misplaced kindness, that is, can be a cruelty to us too, because the longer we are subjecting ourselves to that negativity, well, then the more that doubt and self-loathing and negativity become ingrained in our own personality, then it's harder for us to do the same thing, to move on and become a more positive person. So I like the old adage, maybe you've heard this before, the one walking with the wise will become wise. And that is so true. This is how we are as humans. That's our nature. So it's up to us. Are we going to let energy vampires just suck the positivity right out of us? Are we going to become Count Dracula's ourselves, so to speak? Or are we going to take charge and change the narrative and surround ourselves with more positive things so we can be more positive ourselves?
And it's like you're reading out of my notes. One of my notes says, misplaced kindness is a cruelty. If there's no consequences, no behavior change is necessary. That's so true. When we've got energy vampires in our life, like we're trying to live in this camp, but we've got someone in this camp that we're spending time with, the longer we allow their behavior to continue without consequence, the deeper we're making that behavior, that behavioral pattern, the deeper we're allowing it to get in them to where eventually they can become irreformably negative. They say, well, I just don't want, here's what we do. We say, well, I didn't want to upset them. No, that's not true. You didn't want to feel bad about the way they might react to how you start to draw a new line. That's the truth. But we mask it up. We pray it up. We say, oh, I just didn't want to hurt their feelings. I didn't want to upset them. Lord knows I didn't want to upset them. No, bro. Here's what happened. He said, well, if I start to draw a boundary because I'm not getting pulled into that camp, if I start to draw a boundary, they're going to get pissed off at me. And then that's what we're worried about. Here's the antidote. Love. Love the person enough to draw a boundary. Love the person enough to help them see a consequence of their negativity is less time with you. Consequences drive change. So the longer you allow that to go on, he's exactly right. What are some other energy vampires? He talked about activities. He talked about, and that is 100% a true story. This guy would be so riled up with his angry political talk radio, he'd get into an appointment, he couldn't close the door. Why? Because he's just seeping in anger and toxicity. And it's just like, people buy from people they like. People don't buy from people that they want to get out of their house. Well, sometimes they do, but that's called a chargeback. What else? What else are the energy vampires? The rumor mill. Did you hear? I had a guy one time, and he said, bro, you got to stop with the rumors. He's like, I'm not spreading rumors. I'm just telling people what I heard. Like, what? So I'm going to show you a definition on a flashcard, and you tell me if Adam talked about declines. Let me tell you something. You're going to get business decline. You're going to get a big case decline. You're going to get a small case decline. You're going to get a big case issued that probably shouldn't have been issued. You're going to get a small case issued that probably shouldn't have been. You're going to have it on all sides. Why? Because you're involving people. There's you, the agent, who's imperfect. There's the underwriter, who, from what I can understand, are still people. I'm just kidding. They are people. They're people, right? They can have a bad day too. And then you got a client. So we've got a triangle of imperfection trying to expect perfection. What the heck? That's insanity. We got the triangle of imperfection going. I had a client one time. I said, hey, so you got emphysema? And he said, well, yeah, but it's basically caused by allergies. And I was like, yeah, that's not true. That's, we have that stuff that happens, right? So why carry that with you? Here's the way most people operate. This camp over here, here's how they operate. They walk into a room with a handful of dog crap. Then they go, can y'all believe I just stepped in this? Look at this. I stepped in this. Come on, smell of it. Smell of it. Smell of it. I stepped in it. Can you believe I stepped in this out there? And then once they get done with that room, they move to the next room. Hey, y'all, look what I stepped in out there. Dear God, that's terrible. I got dookie all over my foot. Look what I stepped in. Can you smell of it? Can you see that? Can you believe this happened to me? I just stepped in. Can you come on, smell it? Look, it's real. Look, come on. That's what they do. They not only let the negative thing affect their mood, they then go to show everybody else what it smells like. Don't be an energy vampire. Don't spend time around energy vampires. Sometimes when you get caught by an energy vampire, yep. Some of them are sneaky. They sneak up on you. Look, if you want to be in this camp, decisive action is necessary. Adam talked about walking among the wise, be wise. Hey, look, nobody's impervious to the environment. You hang around, you hang around anybody in this camp for long, you're going to pop up a tent. No, we don't. Me and you, we got to stay over here. All right, next, number 4, focus on your wins. Stack your wins through the day. I love having Mimi on these calls because her energy is just infectious. And Mimi is one that gets up early to stack up the wins. We do a lot of 10 a.m. stuff, a lot of 9 a.m. stuff on our team East Coast time. She's on the West Coast. She don't ever complain. She don't ever like, that is so early. Yeah, okay, I'm in. I'll bet $10,000 that Mimi's never complained like that. I'm just telling you, she is someone that wants to get an early start and start stacking up wins. So number 4 is focus on the wins, stack them up. Stacks on stacks on stacks. Mimi, light us up.
Thank you, Stephen, for having me. As you can see, it's 7 a.m. here, and I'm in my car. I just dropped off my kids, one kid to school, and then taking the other one after the call. So I'm grateful, Stephen. Thank you for having me on the call. Yes, you taught me that. I don't even remember how long ago to count my wins, because there was a time in my life, naturally I'm confident and positive and things like that, like you said. But there are some challenging times, and some things will happen in your life where will challenge your belief, right? So I was doubting myself. I don't even know if you remember that. But years ago, you said, maybe this is what I want you to do. I want you to write down 100 things that you're good at. 100 things that you've done, you accomplished. Just write them down. I was like, 100? But when I think about it, I'm like, how old am I? I should be able to have 100 things to write about myself. It took me a minute to get to 100, but I did it because I'm like, if I don't count the positive things in my life, if I don't appreciate myself and my wins, who's supposed to do that? Nobody else is going to do it for you if you don't know how to do it for yourself. Before you be kind to others, you have to learn to be kind to yourself. So that's one of the biggest things that I learned from that exercise. And I tell you right now, I still do it. I do it every day. And I get other people to do it with me. We are on I date them too, Stephen. Like every day I do it. So because it's so helpful to me that I'm like, I need to do it more. So what does that mean, count your wins? Okay, you don't need to work to be a millionaire. It doesn't have to be the big things. It can be the small things. Mercedes did part of my job already. Thank you, Mercedes. If you wake up in the morning, be grateful for it. Because you wake up. So many other people didn't get to make it to today. So be grateful for life, pretty much. Hey, you woke up on time. What about that? So this morning I woke up with a cup of coffee in my hand. Check, So the little things in your life, your little wins, start the day strong, pretty much. Be grateful for waking up. You didn't press the snooze button. And if you did, you end up wake up, I hope. So be grateful for that, And then be grateful for the fact that you read a book. Even if it's 5 minutes, 1 page, 2 page. Be grateful for all of these things, the simple things. Be grateful for just having food, like Mercedes was saying. Make a list. What does that do for you? So pretty much, it's not something that you do one day, Stephen, and you're done with it. It's a lifestyle. With all these things that you guys been talking about, what Adam talked about, Mercedes, and you gonna talk more about, it's a lifestyle. You can't do it today. Oh my God, Mimi and Stephen and all the others that say to do these things, it will change your life and expect it to be changed. It's consistent and persistently doing it. That's what's gonna give you the changes, the result that you want. So be grateful, be thankful, count your wins, give you a grateful heart. Grateful people are more likely to be healthy because it decreases the stress level.
Mhm.
I tell you, when you stress, you don't have it. You don't sleep good. So what sleep deprivation will get you sick, physically sick. So it's not us thinking about it, it's studies. They've done studies that when you are grateful, when you count your wins, not only you changing your brain structure, Stephen, I was gonna go to the psych part. That's my deal. I love psychology. So being positive and grateful, it changes your brain structure. So you're less likely to be depressed. You're less likely to have anxiety and all these things. So it's good for you, period, to do it. If you want a better life, you owe it to yourself to be grateful and condition your brain. So how does it change your brain structure? Because what we focus the most on, Stephen, that's what our reality is, right? So because you think about it all the time, then it becomes your reality. And it can go either way. If you focus on positive things, then positivity and abundance will become your lifestyle, right? If you think about negativity, the energy vampires that Adam was talking about, if that's all you surround yourself with, that's what you're gonna get. So
Yep.
when you do something over and over, you're telling your brain to strengthen that part of your brain, right? So then it becomes stronger and stronger. So what you think about, you attract. So we changing your mindset to have a grateful heart and count your win every day. It changes how you think, how you behave, and because you change your mindset, then your physical and physiological body will change as well. The chemicals will change, right?
Yep.
So it's not like theory that we're talking about. We're talking about real lifestyle things. If you want, like Steven said, if you want to stay right here on the negativity part, you don't want to grow, don't apply these things. They're not things that we're saying to waste time. These are things that we've been through, we've been doing, and it shows results. And doctors, psychologists, been researching these things and see how beneficial they are. So that.
No, we lost you there for a minute.
So the other thing that counting your wins do for you, Stephen, it gives you faith in yourself. You believe in yourself. It increases your self-esteem. So when you made me do that exercise, I was like, damn, I guess I'm bad to the bone. So I was like, if I did
Trying to tell you.
yesterday,
That's what I was trying to tell you.
yeah. So I'm like, damn, if I did this yesterday, I can do it again today. If I did it 10 years ago, I can do it again. So it's a matter of reminding yourself who you are, what you made of.
I
Does that
love
make
it.
sense? So then you become better. You become better at achieving your goals because now your faith is high, your belief is high. You're not doubting yourself. You're like, oh my God, pour me, pour me. No, 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 no. You don't have time for that because I'm a victor. Does that make sense? I'm not a victim. So
No, they all live here. They
yeah,
all live here.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't have time for the negativity. So you build your self-esteem. If you want to succeed outside in this business and in life in general, you owe it to yourself to be not just be positive, but build your self-esteem, your self-worth by counting your blessing and then do it all the time. Because once you know you did it once, you're gonna be able to do it again and again and again. And the next thing you know, you become the person that you want, right? So when do I do my counting my wins? I do it in the morning. Early in the morning, that's part of what I do. You know my routine. 5 o'clock, I'm up. Coffee, whatever I need to drink, I'm up. So I do my reading, I do my wins, I do all my good stuff to get me going. And then at nighttime, I'll do a review too. Because let's say, for example, I make my dials, I stick to my schedule, I talk to this many clients or this many agents. So I am gonna make sure that before I even wait for Stephen to say good job, Mimi, that's my way of saying good job to myself.
That's awesome.
It's not an ego thing.
Yeah.
It's not ego. It's healthy self-worth.
Yep.
Encourage yourself.
Yep. And what you're talking about there at the end of the day, that's one of the things we're going to end the call with is the narrative. And what you're talking about, Mimi, allows you to control that narrative throughout the day. And I love the stuff you're talking about. The stacking of the wins. It's easier to stack wins if you start early. That's what she's talking about. And then throughout the day, just type them in your phone. Type them in your phone. Here's my wins throughout the day. It's and Mimi, you know this because your psychology background. What I talked about at family reunion was how to be persuasive. Guess who we're persuading here with this stacking up your wins? We're selling ourselves. And when you stack your wins throughout the day like that, you're doing what I call a cadence of agreement, right? You establish a cadence of agreement when you're trying to convince someone of something. We're trying to convince us that we're awesome, Mimi. When we start early like you do, like I do, and Mercedes does, and we stack those wins and we stack them throughout the day, guess what we're doing? We're establishing a cadence of agreement. And that cadence of agreement is going to have us thinking we're awesome. That cadence of agreement, here's what it's going to do. It's going to cause us to expect more wins. They have a cadence of negativity, a cadence of failure. You and me, Mimi, we're over here. I love that stuff. I love that stuff. And when you're talking about that 100 list, I hadn't forgot that conversation. I still love it. You start talking about it, I got cold chills. I've had that conversation over the years with so many people. If you're out there right now and this is all like too much for you and you're like, okay, Mimi's crazy, Adam's crazy, Mercedes crazy, God knows Stephen's crazy. I don't know if I buy into any of this. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We love you. You're currently in this camp. We're going to try and recruit you. So I want you to do the same thing Mimi did. Make a list. And Mimi, what you said is so true. On that 100, the first 10 are the hardest. You go from 80 to 100 like that. Right? That's exactly what you did. I know, because every time my self-esteem's been low and I've done it, I mean, God, the first 10 are like, I'm such an idiot and have screwed up so much stuff that I don't. And then you get to 10 and you get to 11, you're like, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, all right. So awesome stuff, Mimi. Thank you for sharing. And I love your warrior spirit. I love that you're like, hey, most people are like, well, you know, I can't be on a call. It's West Coast. And, you know, I got the kids, and I got the school, and I got this, and I got that. And you're just like, hey, man, jump on. I'm going to do it in between. I love it. You're a warrior, Mimi. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Mimi, you killed it. Keep killing it. Keep setting that example. Oh, by the way, Mimi and I are going to be in Sacramento September 14th. North Cali. Let's unite. Let's take over.
That's right.
We got some good stuff happening there. TheAllianceEvents.com. Hotspots. You can see where all the top people are going to be. All right. Which ties into number 5. Have a plan for discouragement. One of the biggest things that causes discouragement is thinking there won't be discouragement. I am very negative positive. I know that bad stuff's going to happen. I know I'm going to step in dookie. I know it's going to happen, right? Why? Statistics. When I was walking through our side yard the other day to go to the pool and I stepped in it, I was like, well, that checks out. We've got 2 dogs in a yard. Yeah, this stuff happens. Right? Have a plan for when discouragement happens. I'm all about people and I'm all about media. I got people I'll call when I face something discouraging because I know they'll get me right. Now, let me tell you something. Sometimes when this camp tries to execute that, they execute it poorly. They'll think they're calling for encouragement. What they're really calling to do is say, hey, you're my growing up line. Look at this dookie I stepped in. Isn't it the worst? Oh my God, it's terrible. It's terrible. And then your upline's like, yeah, but there's more grass than crap. There's more grass than crap out there. And you're like, yeah, but this is the one I stepped in. And they're like, yeah, I know, but there's more grass than crap. In fact, look at all this grass over here. Look at all this grass over here. Yeah, but the crap, right? The longer you insist, at some point, you'll be like, okay, yeah, the world is covered in crap. Better put on your big boots, right? Come saying, hey, I'm feeling this. Help me correct my thinking. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me what I'm missing. But have a plan for discouragement. Why? Let me tell you something. If it was that easy, do you think Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, Columbia Financial, do you think they'd need me? No, they wouldn't need us if it was easy. Nothing worth doing is. You're always going to go through tough stuff to get to good stuff. I wish it was different. I always say this, right? I wish Rocky's Hot Chicken Shack was a superfood. It is not yet. But I feel if I make enough money, I could make that happen. At least just the CDC to sign off on it. I don't know. We'll see. But I have a plan for discouragement. It's coming. I love, have rebound songs. I'm big on rebound songs. Like mine are Today by the Smashing Pumpkins. I love that song. Life Wasted by Pearl Jam. Nothing More. Do You Really Want It? That's a good one. Like have songs that just get you back and get you right, and people that get you back and get you right. Just know it's coming. That way it doesn't happen and you end up over here in this camp. This camp's going to come a calling. Ooh, I got a plan. No. That was close. All right. Number 6, practice perspective altering. Practice perspective altering. Big picture. Zoom out. What's the big picture? Here's the unique thing, right? Here's the unique thing. We are, and I think I'm going to draw something here if I can still do that. I know I didn't say I was going to do this, but sometimes things change. Yay! All right. Here, this big negative event happens. Something terrible, right? Or at the time we think it's terrible. Here's why we think it's terrible. Because we're right here. So it looks really big. Oh my God. Oh, it's $300 a month and it got declined. Oh no. The person that I bought a ticket for the event, they didn't show, they quit. It's so big. Here's the thing. The further out we get, the smaller the event appears, right? You know this. Mountains from far away look real tiny. Mountains up close look real big. Same deal with everything we go through. When we're up close, it's going to look like it will never get better. But the laws of physics, the space-time continuum, dictates that time will continue to go on. And the further that time goes on, the further away we'll get. And the further away we'll get, the further we'll get. We won't even remember it. We won't even remember it right. You get around me and Captain Leventovich have been here so long, we'll have 3 different stories about the same negative event. It was 20 years ago. We can't even get our stories straight. It's so far away. And we'll be like, that's not how it went. This is how it went. No, man, see, it happened like this. Why? Because it's so far away, we can't even see it anymore. We're like, no. So here's my point. If that's going to be the case anyway, why are we going to let it steal life from us today? Why are we going to let it steal this week from us? Why are we going to let it steal this month from us? The space-time continuum and physics dictate that we are going to get further away from it. I know this is killing Adam in the studio. He hates when things aren't lined up right. It's going to happen. So let's just squint. Let's just squint until we get far enough away. Be like, oh, wasn't that big deal. Here's the other thing I'll tell you. If it's going to be funny later, it can't be funny now. You'll hear me, Leventovich, Connors, Avian, Katz, the guys have been here the longest. You'll hear us telling stories, and we're laughing. And people will be like, that really happened? Oh my God, that's terrible. I'm like, I know, isn't it hilarious? And you're like, y'all are insane. It's like, no, it's funny now. So we all know that's going to happen. You've got stories like that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's going to be funny later. Why not just let it be funny now? Right? Is it too soon? Too soon? That's not something, that's not a filter that I possess. Apparently the DNA that has that too soon to make a joke thing, that's just, I was born without it. Yes, there are people like me all over suffering from making jokes too soon. But hey, if it's going to be funny later, let's make it funny now. Here's the other thing. Perspective altering, you're not that important. I'm not that important. It would be depressing if we knew how little other people talk about us, right? We get all riled up. Bro, everybody's fighting through their own securities, fighting their own battle. Ain't nobody spending all their time trying to get you. I'm just telling you. Hey, and the other thing I'll tell you on perspective altering, what do you know for sure? There's very few things that you know for sure. But this can. By God, they know everything for sure. That underwriter, that upline, that one time a Dodge fund. They know everything for sure. I'd rather live over here and go, hey, maybe they had a bad day. Ooh, or maybe I was being oversensitive that day. Could be, right? Perspective altering, big picture thinking. All right, number 8, be a positive force throughout your day. Here's what I know. So you saw Mimi, you saw Adam Burge, you saw Mercedes. Wouldn't you like to run into them today? I know I would. Why would you like to run into them? Because they're beaming positivity. So that's a choice. And here's the cool thing about positivity and encouragement. It's the most selfish thing we can do. And they say, well, this camp's selfish. I agree with you there. But when you and I give encouragement away, it's the only thing that comes back to us twofold. Think about that for just a minute. The smile at a stranger. Help on the flight back from Denver. This lady, I swear to God, she must have been like 4'8", all of about 64 pounds, and her bag was like, I picked up, I was like, man, I work out every day, and this is a lift. How did you get this here? Just helping her lift it in the bin. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying, I sit down and I go, you've done the same thing, right? It being encouraging, being helpful, smiling at a stranger, sharing a laugh, sharing a joke, going out of your way to make people smile. It's the only thing that comes back to you twofold like that. You go, I feel better. So adopt that posture throughout your day. Throughout the day, adopt that posture. I'm going to be the one that makes people smile and makes people laugh. Well, that's just not how I am naturally. No, that's bullcrap. You weren't born and the doctors came in your parents like, whoa, look at this negative little dude. Whoa, woo, get this one. All the other babies hate this guy. They hate him. You got to get this little negative joker out of here. He's bringing the whole mood of the hospital down. Get your negative little weirdo out of here. That's not true. Sometimes we adopt certain things as coping mechanisms. For instance, if you were raised by you had a really brash parent that just, blasted all the time, you might think you're timid. You might think you're shy, but you're not. You weren't born that way. You developed it as a coping mechanism. Mimi can explain all this stuff to you psychologically. I'm just telling you, we are meant to be uplifters and encouragers. That's how we are. With our kids, that's how we raise our kids. When they leave the house, make people smile, make people laugh. Why? Because I want them to have healthy self-esteem. I want them to be in this camp all their life. I will drag them kicking and screaming out of this camp. I want them in this camp all their life. That's why we make sure they have that posture. And the last thing, number 8, what Mimi talked about, take control of the narrative. Nothing creates momentum like momentum. Yeah, that's big, right? Remember, that's a writer downer. Nothing creates momentum like momentum. Start the day off with that positivity. At the end of the day, tell the story of your day. But tell the story of your day in the most positive way. Tell the story of your day through the lens of heroic you. Tell the story of the day through the lens of uplifting, encouraging you, beacon of hope, beacon of smiles and happiness and all good things you. Beacon of, hey, I'm an overcomer. That guy from that negative camp tried to get to me today, but not today, I said. Not today, I said. Tell the story. He said, that's insane. Here's what I know. I want to be insanely happy. I don't want to be insanely negative. I want to be insanely happy, so I'm willing to be a little insane. Today was a good day. I'm telling you what, tell the narrative at the end of the day. When you tell that story at the end of the day, you're putting the seal on yet another day of winning, another day in this camp. The more of those you stack up, the more momentum you create in your life, the happier your life is going to be, the better your marriage will be, right? Does anybody go, hey, God, let me tell you about my spouse. They are they're just negative and septic. Oh, I just love them to bits. Geez, some people have rose-colored glasses. Let me tell you, my spouse has crap-covered glasses, and I just love them to bits. No, nobody likes negative people. I want Holly to just go crazy to be around me. I want Chandler to want to be around me. I want Tinsley to be around me. I want to be in this. Guys, I know these 8 things have helped me immensely in my life to stay positive no matter what. And when I do, maybe dip below the line for a little while, get back up and get going again. I know these 8 things have helped people I love to stay positive and to stay productive. And here's what I know. We've got a very special run ahead of us. We've got Breakthrough coming up at the end of September. If you don't have a ticket, ask everybody. You just might be the special one that got the ticket. I'm just telling you, see what you can do to get there. National Convention, guys. Let's have 2,500 people at National Convention. I know we can do that. I know you and I, staying positive every day, can do that. Guys, Holly and I love you. We want you to win more than you know. Let's get out. Let's get after it.